ACTRIMS is an organization that has a mission of dissemination of knowledge about multiple sclerosis and advancing research and treatment in multiple sclerosis. So as president, I oversee the overall function of the organization, which includes the annual meeting, which we're having now, as well as joint meetings with other organizations. The largest is the European equivalent of ACTRIMS, which is ACTRIMS. We have a triennial meeting that we conduct every 3 years, alternating between North America and Europe. And part of my responsibility as president of ACTRIMS is to see that those joint meetings are organized and represent the progress made in the field of MS. Another mission of ACTRIMS, which I oversee, is the educational mission. We have interest in advancing education in MS and recruiting more and more physician scientists into the field of multiple sclerosis. Now, this is actually our 21st meeting. So ACTRIMS has been in existence since 1995. We've always held annual meetings in conjunction with other organizations. What's unique about this meeting is that this is the first time we hold a meeting as a standalone meeting. We came out very strong from the Boston meeting last year, where we had our triennial meeting in conjunction with ACTRIMS. And we felt that we're at a point where we can conduct our own independent meetings. The other reason to do that is the timing, because there are a fair number of MS-related meetings nowadays, and we thought we would place this meeting in February so that it would not conflict with other MS-related meetings. For this year, we decided to focus on progressive multiple sclerosis. The reason for that is we have therapies for the earlier forms of MS, the relapsing remitting forms of MS, but we don't really have effective therapies for the progressive forms of the disease. And the objective of this meeting is to bring together researchers who are working on different aspects of the disease, the immunopathogenesis, imaging, therapeutics, and try to focus the knowledge from all these areas of research on progressive MS so that we can have a better understanding of the mechanistic underpinning of the condition and how to treat it. As I mentioned, right now we don't really have an effective therapy. Ocrelizumab is a drug that targets B lymphocytes, and B cells are thought to be involved in the pathogenesis of MS based on earlier clinical trials. I think the results of this study, as well as the previous studies with another B cell depleting agent, tell us that B cells play an important role in the pathogenesis of progressive disease. So I think there will be more attention to B cells and how they interact with the nervous system and how they produce damage in the case of MS. Definitely it's one step in the right direction. What everybody is waiting for is the subgroup analysis. The response to the drug was not universal among progressive patients. So it seems that there is a subgroup of MS patients who are more likely to benefit from this treatment. And those could be patients who, despite the progression of their disease, they continue to have ups and downs and activity on the MRI. Perhaps also the male gender and the age are factors in the response. So we're waiting for the subgroup analysis in order to individualize therapy with this medication. So yesterday we had the keynote address by Dr. Jari Wolinski, who reviewed the progressive disease and the therapeutics. And all the talks that you will hear about today and tomorrow are very relevant to the topic. There will be topics related to the genetic risk factors, the environmental risk factors, and focus also not only on mechanisms of tissue damage, but also how we can protect the nervous system in the case of MS, area of neuroprotection, and also repair and regeneration. We have a fair number of drugs for that already approved by the FDA, 10 or more. B-cell depletion therapy will be added to the armamentarium of therapeutics and relapsing disease. And there will be others also coming down pipeline. I would expect that we will have 1 or 2 additional medications in the next year or so. Not entirely, because the interferons and others that we call platform therapies have been around for more than 2 decades now, and they have a very good safety profile. They're not efficacious in every patient, therefore the efforts now are to identify biomarkers of response, try to identify those patients who are likely to respond to these drugs, and based on that knowledge, select the right drug to the right patient. So I could see a continuing role for those older medications, despite the fact that they're injectables. The strong message is going to be that we need to focus more and more effort on understanding progressive disease, that we should really treat MS early and individualize therapy based on how aggressive the disease is, and try to intercept the degenerative process as early as possible, so patients do not transition quickly from early relapsing remitting disease into progressive disease. The second important message is that for the researchers and the young generation, that there is a lot of excitement about MS, and that this is a field that would greatly benefit from research and exploration of new therapeutics.